Robots Radio. Games, lore, stories, community. Just press play. This show is brought to you by our patrons at patreon.com/ElderScrollsLorecast.
Robots Radio presents The Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast, a place where the Elder Scrolls community can come together to discuss the boundaries of our knowledge about the universe of the Elder Scrolls. We've got this spooky new music for the new intro. This is year 3, guys. We're starting year 3. We're actually just wrapping up year 2, but I was excited about all the new stuff, so I went ahead and set it up. Welcome to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast. We got some spooky music because we know in ESO this year it's the Gates of Oblivion, and that's going to be some spooky, creepy stuff with, Daedras and things invading through portals. I'm assuming. We don't know a whole lot about it yet. But we are here with our final episode of the year. It is also our last Patreon chat of the year, and I'm your host, Tom Robots, with my co-host, Lotus of Doom. Lotus, welcome. How's it going?
Heyo. I am well.
Heyo. And then we also have our two of our patrons who were able to join us this week, or this month, for our patron chat. Lincoln is back. Lincoln, welcome. How's it going, buddy?
It's going good. Thank you for having me once again.
And Renegade Daedra is joining us. Renegade, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm really, really excited. Got really big into your show. Randomly looking through some podcasts on Spotify. I'm a UPS driver, so I was like, man, I just want to listen to something music kind of gets old after a while when you listen to kind of the same thing. So I was looking for a change of pace, found the podcast, and instantly just dove headfirst into it, went back and started listening to a bunch of old episodes, listening to all the Daedra episodes you did. I've absolutely loved it, so I'm super excited to be here.
Well, thank you. Thank you for supporting the show, and we're excited to have you. I always love having new people guest every week because we get everybody's insights into the game, and their experiences are always interesting and always different. So it's always nice to have somebody new. So welcome to the show.
One side note.
Yeah.
No, that I just want to specifically say, well, with the holidays, shout out to you for being a UPS driver and making any of this actually function, because good Lord, this year had to have been intense. So thanks. Appreciate your hard work.
No, I appreciate that. It's this year's been pretty wild.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of an unsung hero of this season.
Yeah.
2020 goes to the mail carriers.
For sure.
Although they didn't go fully unappreciated. This actually was an idea put out by my local church where, and a lot of people did in the community, including myself and my family. Uh-huh. They gave out like little gift baskets on their front porches that like have notes. It's like, oh, thank you, UPS, and
that's actually a good idea.
All that. That's awesome.
And then it was like a gift bag full of like Gatorade and Power Bar, or like
yeah,
stuff like that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Wads of cash.
That's been awesome.
Yeah.
Wads of cash.
That would be cool. I'd be down with that.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
Here's a tip for the 40,000 packages you delivered to my door this year.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Back with a $sign on it.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be nice.
I can dream.
Yeah. Well, I totally get the whole driving around all the time. One of the jobs I had, I used to drive all over the state, like every day out of the week in order to go do my job. And so, yeah, I went through the same exact thing where it was like, music's fine, but eventually you can only listen to music so much, especially if you're in the car for hours and hours and hours. You need something else to kind of keep your mind occupied. So that's also how I came about finding podcasts. But welcome to the show again, and thank you everybody for listening. Welcome to our live chat here on twitch.tv/robotsradio. We're doing this episode on Saturday because Thursday night happened to be, one of the biggest holidays of the year. So we decided to delay it a little bit. But this week we are talking about factions in Elder Scrolls Online and what our opinions of the factions are, where we stand. Do we have strong feelings for one faction over another? What characters have we made? What are our main characters? What faction are they on? Those kinds of things. And I figured we kind of start this off with a little bit of a preface. about the three main factions in case people hadn't played Elder Scrolls Online but were familiar with the other Elder Scrolls games, because with a little bit of description you can get a sense of what's going on here. So anybody who's not familiar with Elder Scrolls Online, it takes place in the middle of the Second Era. It's a good 800 years before the events of some of the other games, or longer, depending on the game you play. And at this time in history, the three main factions are the Aldmeri Dominion, the Daggerfall Covenant, and the Ebonheart Pact. And the Aldmeri Dominion is basically the groups that all belong on, say, the southwest side of the map. They're all kind of down here. And it's basically run by the High Elves with the Khajiit and the Wood Elves, the Bosmeri, in line with them. And the description here on the UASP article about the alliances says, a newly formed alliance led by Queen Irene that seeks to reestablish elven custodianship over Tamriel. And I think that's really interesting that they call it custodianship. Like, we're going to rule everyone out in order to help everyone out. Like, we're custodians of the land. And then there's the Daggerfall Covenants, which is a feudal alliance led by High King Emmerich that seeks to restore the Second Empire and secure trade opportunities. And this includes the Bretons, the Redguard, and who's the other one?
Orcs.
The Orcs, that's it. I was almost like, there's another one in there. I forget who it is. The Orcs. Yep. And then the Ebonheart Pact. The description here is a militaristic alliance led by Yorin, the Skald King, united in its purpose to ensure the territorial integrity of its people. And that, of course, are the other three groups other than the Imperials, which can be any. And that includes the Nords, the Dark Elves, so the Dunmer, and the Argonians. And so you can see here that they have different kind of motivations, like this an alliance in order to reestablish elven custodianship over Tamriel, or the feudal alliance by the king, so feudal alliance to restore the Second Empire and secure trade opportunities. And then there's a militaristic alliance united in its purpose to ensure the territorial integrity of its people. And that also makes sense with like the Nords, the Dunmer, and the Argonians saying like, okay, get off our land. This is our land. Like all three of those groups tend to be like more isolationist, like this is our stuff, everyone else stay out, right? So that's kind of a rough intro into this stuff, and I'd love to hear some. Why don't we start? Renegade, would you like to start? Do you have strong feelings for any of these factions? Like, what do you normally align yourself with?
I do. So my preferred faction, represented by the one and only Lotus of Doom, Ebonheart Pact.
So you're a fan of the Get Off My Lawn faction. Get off my lawn.
Pretty much.
Hey, you shouldn't be on our lawn.
Yeah, you shouldn't be on it in the first place. I shouldn't have to tell you.
Sure. Sure.
So I have only been playing ESO for like maybe 3 months. I'm really new to the scene still.
Oh, that's
my
awesome.
highest DP is like 335.
That's awesome. I love that we're getting somebody who's like very new to this, because Lotus and I have been playing for a long, long time, and Lincoln's been playing for what, at least 2 years now, Lincoln? Something like that?
About just over a year.
Oh, just over a year. Okay. So, yeah, so we have some very different perspective. Yeah. This is great. Okay. So what's your 3-month perspective on this?
So, all right. So I'm a huge Elder Scrolls fan. Oblivion, Skyrim, those were my thing. I saw ESO come out and I was like, I don't know how an MMORPG is going to do. I kind of left it alone. I heard some bad reviews when it released. I was like, dude, I'm just not even going to mess with it. So my buddy and I actually had talked about doing Skyrim together, to try out the mod, be able to play with each other. Yeah. And it was like, why are we doing this the hard way? I was like, ESO is the thing. Even if the game isn't like super polished, we could still run around Tamriel together. So we both downloaded it. And man, I cannot tell you how long we sat there reading through the lore behind all three of them, because I was like, dude, what if I picked the wrong one? Like, I put in some research. But I ended up going with the Ebonheart Pact because I have very strong feelings against the Aldmeri Dominion.
Mm-hmm. Because of your Skyrim experience? Because of the Thalmor?
That's part of it. It's part of it.
Yeah.
It's actually with Altmer themselves. I do not like the Altmer. I don't do well with the God complex factor. So having a whole race of God complex does not sit well with me.
Right.
I like Queen Irene. I think that she has wonderful motives, but the actual goals of the Dominion itself just do not sit well with me. The fact that like they recruited the Khajiit through, oh, you're being killed by this awful plague. Oh, here we are with the saviors all of a sudden. We've restored Secunda and Masser with magic. Now you owe us.
Right.
It doesn't sit well with me. And then the Daggerfall Covenant, it's kind of that same factor. I didn't like how the Bretons and the Red Guards had teamed up to sack Orsinium, and then all of a sudden we're like, hey, we just kicked your teeth in. You want to join an alliance, though? Like, sorry about that, dude. I totally just kicked your lunch all over the floor. Do you want to come sit at my table, though? You don't have lunch, but do you want to come sit at my table? That's like how I feel.
We'll stick you in the front line. That'll be fine. We need people. We need some military people to put right in the front. You guys would fit right in right there. How's that sound? Yeah.
Right. No, the Ebonheart Pact, like, obviously there's a lot of disdain. In Skyrim, you see it a lot. The Argonians and the Dark Elves to the Nords. Mm-hmm. Even in ESO, you see it, Argonians, Dark Elves, with the whole slavery thing.
Oh, yeah.
But at the same time, too, it's cool to look at, like, when the invasion from the Akaviri, the second invasion, how all three of them just set all their differences aside, came together, kicked the Akaviri out. Like that's what I think the alliance, like an alliance, should be about, you know? So being able to mutually support somebody, to be able to defend something that you mutually believe in.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, it's the sense of camaraderie, and the Ebonheart Pact felt less, for lack of a better term, douchey than everybody else.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
okay,
that was kind of what I came to, and the conclusion was I thought that the holding off of the Akaviri invasion I thought that was just top notch, was so cool. All three of them, you know, the falling of East March, being able to come up and just push together as the three races who have not always got along, and
get past their differences,
able to team up and work together. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Set their differences aside. Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. So what race did you go with?
So my
this is a difficult question,
race,
I guess.
it's kind of hard. My race actually just kind of happened to fall into the Ebonheart Pact, because for my first ever class, I actually went with a necromancer. So in terms of thinking of something lore-wise that would work with the necromancer, I went with the dark elf, which just so happens to be part of the Ebonheart Pact. So I was like, oh, hey, this works out. I get the race that I wanted for the class that I have, and the alliance I like.
Right. And as long as you are
my two main characters,
as long as you're raising the dead of other races, then they're totally cool with that.
It's fine. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
My two main races are Argonian and dark elves.
Cool. Lincoln's cheering. Lincoln, what are your thoughts on that? You seem to be a fan of that.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think we might have a pretty one-sided episode here, but
that's okay.
You know, I'm if you guys have heard, or if you guys listen to the favorite races episode, I'm a huge fan of Argonians. Like, literally, you could even my Discord pictures of an Argonian. So, that's kind of how I fell into being part of the Ebonheart Pact. But I mean, we'll get to my whole history in the future. But yeah, like my first character in Skyrim was an Argonian. My first character in ESO was an Argonian. So this is interesting, because you seem to have come to it from the racial perspective of, I like Argonians. Argonians are part of the Ebonheart Pact, so that's the group I'm going to be. Whereas Renegade came to it from a perspective of like, what are these three factions about? I'm going to choose the faction, and then, okay, now what race am I going to pick? That also lines up, because I want to go with a certain kind of class. And then, so you came at it from different directions, but you kind of ended up in the same rough area, more or less. Yeah, totally. Like, even like, obviously, you know, leading the guild and doing some events, you know, occasionally people are like, oh, does it matter what alliance I am? You know, can I still come? And like, First off, I just want to say that outside of PvP and ESO, alliance does not matter. You can do quests with other alliance. It's not like World of Warcraft where you cannot associate at all with the other alliance.
Right, and you can't even talk. Like the Horde and the Alliance don't even. You can't text each other. That doesn't. You can't read the other side's language.
Yeah, one Tamriel was an amazing fix for that, because back in the day when it was like that in ESO and the alliances couldn't communicate with each other ever, and it was a whole mess. So that was one of the best patches this game ever got.
Yeah. It was a phenomenal addition for sure.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Lincoln, did you have something else?
Well, I was just going to say that like I did do a little bit of research going into it. But like, obviously, unless you have the, I think it's literally just called Any Race, Any Alliance Pact or whatever. Yeah. It's like, unless you have that, you're basically forced to be in one alliance when you choose your race.
Right.
So, but I did do a little bit of research and I found out it's like, it doesn't really matter anymore. So I didn't really feel that like I was making a bad decision. And so when I chose the Ebonheart Pact.
So when I created my character back before the one Tamriel update, which is still my main character, Arnie is called Arnie because this is going to be the stupidest thing I'm going to say, and I'm never going to live this stuff down. Arnie's called Arnie because he's an Argonian, and I chose Argonians, and this is like 5 years ago 5 or 6 years ago now when I first came out, because I thought they looked the coolest. That was it.
It's a walking crocodile or like a walking dinosaur. That's cool.
Right. Now, I had played Oblivion. I had played Skyrim by this point. I had characters in those games. My main character I don't even remember what race my main character in Oblivion was. I don't recall. My main character in Skyrim was Khajiit. That was the one I stuck with when I went really stealthy. I went Khajiit, and that's the one I ended up playing through the game with. So when I got to Elder Scrolls Online, I was like, well, I want to be something different. And I looked through all the different, and back then especially, I was like, these character models are not great. They don't, like, the people and the elves look kind of and I was like, the Argonians
always look like they don't have any. The male Khajiits always look like they don't have any necks.
Yeah, they're like neck size, huge or just large. Like which one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double XL or triple XL.
Right. So I went with Argonians because I was like, these guys I like the character model on this. Like sometimes I'm very influenced by like the aesthetics of the game, and I'm not gonna lie. In that first year playing that game, because Lotus, you might remember this, the original items that especially the clothing, the original clothing you would get in the game, the armor and clothing sets, almost all of them looked like they were just painted on to your body. They didn't actually have any shape other than they were just
just skins pretty much.
They were just skins.
In to look like clothing.
Yeah. And I was just like, this looks terrible. And then when they finally got mounts, all you had were cat mounts. I believe there was like a big puma looking mount and something else, like the first mounts in the game. And
they were
thinking like really, really early on.
I mean, at the very earliest. So to start, you only got horses.
It was horses,
literally nothing but horses.
Right. There were nothing but horses. And then they finally upgraded to what? It was something else.
And then right after Gwar, because I actually still, my mount, because I'm terrible at cosmetics, as the running joke usually goes, I still have the first Gwar mount that was put in the game. That's my mount. You got laser cats and robot things, and it's like, no, I have the original Gwar that you could buy for like, I don't know, 700 crowns or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Then right after that, they put in the Sench Tiger.
Like, the Tiger, okay.
Of them.
Yeah. That's like that's as far as I remember. And I was like, so all of my options are painted on clothing and horses, Gwar, or Tiger. Like that's it. That's all. Like, and coming from having played games like World of Warcraft, where it's like you can have a flying dragon or ride on a dinosaur, or like there's all this cool badass stuff. And I was like, these are the three things I get to choose from: is different colors of horses, a lizard thing, and some cats. That's it.
And they don't even fly.
Yeah, and they don't even fly. Yeah, but now it's been years, and they just keep adding more stuff. And it's like, well, if you want to ride on a Dwemer construct spider thing, go for it. If you want a fire horse, you got those. Like whatever, all of that stuff.
These new Apex Legend crates. They look like Power Rangers.
The high fantasy is not really super my thing, so that's why it's like, wow, this is a lot.
yeah. But anyway, to digress, like the appearance of the game was kind of a big turnoff early on for me, which, I don't think I understood the depth of the lore and what they were really getting to yet. And because the game was so grindy, it was very hard to progress quickly through the storylines to actually get what was going on and to see, the depth of what they'd actually built for 3 factions, even just in the main content, was still considerable. There was a lot of cool stuff you go through in those main original storylines. But yeah, so I fell into the Ebonheart Pact by choice of, like, I don't know, lack of aesthetic options, I guess you could say, which is super weird. Lotus, you're Ebonheart Pact, right? And so
I am Ebonheart Pact. So I had pretty much zero experience with MMOs, and I just wanted to try this because I like the Elder Scrolls.
Yes.
And I wanted to mess around with it, so I actually based it on, like, okay, what character do I want to be, like, race-wise? And I don't have, like, a go-to race. I jump around each game. It's like, oh, well, this one, I haven't been a dark elf, or I haven't been this, whatever, so I'll pick this one. And when it came to ESO, I looked at what race had benefits. Not that I'm min-maxy type of thing, because I a lot of times people will be like, why are you running that? And I'm like, because that's what I want to do, and I'm going to just do it how I want. But, like, in this game, at least at the start, before the races got their overhaul, not this year, the previous year was 2019, I looked through and I was like, you know what? Nord gets a lot of damage reductions. I had zero idea what a tank DPS or healer as, like, a holy trinity even was at the time, because I didn't play MMOs. So I was like, well, I hate dying in video games. It drives me nuts. So I want to be really durable. And this dude gets, like, damage reductions and stuff like that. I was like, I'm going to be a Nord. So that's what I went with. And then after I picked my race, I looked up, like, okay, so what's the deal with my faction? And then I read the other factions and I was like, oh man, I picked good. I like these guys way better. They're trying to get rid of slavery because that's been a huge issue. And people still joke because, like, that's the big thing, is that it's weird that Dark Elves and Argonians are on the same side when they have such history of, being enslaved or enslaving. But, like, the idea is to outlaw it in the background of the whole basis of the pact, and the couple of groups, the Telvanni and the House Drez, which are 2 of the Dunmer houses that basically double down on slavery, they're actually not even part of the Ebonheart Pact. They're not
themselves separate.
Exactly, because they think slavery is more important. So it's like, I liked that whole thing because of Skyrim. The high elves are supposed to be kind of like in your face hoity-toity thing, but, like, oh my god, it is aggressive. After dealing with the Thalmor and the Aldmeri Dominion, what they become in the 4th era in Skyrim, knowing that that's what they devolve into, some 4th wall breaking stuff, I was like, oh, hell no, we're not doing anything with this group. Like, they're my mortal enemy from the beginning, because they are insufferable later in this series.
But there are some people who are just absolutely, for the Aldmeri Dominion.
Oh,
Like,
yeah,
it doesn't matter what happens in Skyrim. It doesn't matter. That stuff doesn't matter. Queen Irene is awesome, and
Queen Irene's fine.
Yeah.
She just needs to give up the fact that she's going to rule and just join the correct faction. That's all. Just whatever. She can be a lieutenant or something. I mean, it's all good. We're all encompassing. You just don't be tricking the Khajiit and oppressing the Bosmer. It's fine. You can all. I'm fine with an Ebonheart Pact that allows everybody to join us and just ditch those loser factions.
I do like the nuance of it, though. This idea that, like, it's not just everybody who's on this side of the map or whatever, right?
Oh, yeah. And to be fair, like, the cool thing about it is every faction, just like pretty much everything in this game, none of the factions are just clear cut. We are the good guys.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Everybody has their flaws.
everybody has their flaws. Everybody has their bonuses. Like, and the thing that's kind of neat about it is that the way the factions are diversified, it's almost like each one of them gets one group that is getting oppressed by the other groups, and they have to kind of like, okay, we've got to stop beating the crap out of each other for a while and actually cooperate here. And I mean, you've got the orcs from Orsinium.
Yep.
You've got the Khajiit and actually the Bosmer. I mean, it's just kind of a lot of oppression.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that.
Yeah, but at the same time, and then you've got the Argonians who have been, dealing with slavery. So it's like,
I mean, anybody who signs up to hang out with the High Elves are they're going to be the lesser of the side of the equation,
right?
Like,
and that's just it. It's like, even within the factions, it's just like, okay, what pillars of what they're trying to do are the ones you're okay with? Like, and which ones do you tend to like more? And that's kind of seems to be what people go with, unless, of course, you're just like a super min-maxer and everybody's like, Magicka currently performs the best on DPS, so I need to be a high elf because the game says so. So I'm Eldmere Dominion, and I'm like, why are there so many AD people in all my Trials guilds? But
and then that's when you buy the any race, any alliance, and you make a high elf that's in the Ebonheart Pact.
Exactly, and that's why I say everybody is welcome.
So Lincoln, we kind of introduced your perspective on this. What are your thoughts on the Ebonheart Pact? I know you had more stuff you wanted to talk about.
Well, as I'm not really big into PvP at all in this game, I really yes, I'm for the Ebonheart Pact, but I'm not like
from the PvP perspective.
You're not using it in practice necessarily.
Right.
Like, I'm not against making a Khajiit or making an orc, Right. So, I mean, 5 out of the 7 characters I have are Argonians, but a
green Argonian, a blue Argonian, a brown Argonian.
Yes.
Diversity.
Yes. One's a healer, one's a Magi DPS, one's a Stamplar.
That's fun.
But yeah, I mean, as I've gone on, or as I've played more and more of this game and gotten more and more engrossed into the lore and whatnot, and just understood it more, looking into it, Ebonheart Pact, I honestly think was the right choice for me, more than just, being attached to the Argonians. But yeah, I mean, again, it's just really interesting to see this whole situation, because like, you pick one thing, but then the other 2 factions will be like, oh, but did you know the Ebonheart Pact does this? And you know,
right.
So,
and it's
like
They've
politics
there.
It's like
exactly.
Well,
I
but that guy did this terrible thing, and it's like, well, I'm not talking about that guy right now.
Right.
I'm talking about you.
Right. Yeah. I like these things. I don't care what you don't like.
Right. Right. So I because we have kind of all 4 of us pro Ebonheart Pact here, I want to get some opinions on some things. So first of all, leadership. How do you feel about Yorin, the Skald King, being the leader of the Ebonheart Pact? Do you have any opinions about this? Because we come across him in some of the quest lines. We also come across him again in the Greymore stuff that happened this last year, if you played through any of that content. Do you have any feelings about him? Have you actually come across him in the game?
So, one of the things that I like about him is he's definitely probably the strangest of the 3 leaders.
Yes. Yeah.
Because he doesn't actually want to be a leader, although he just by default is kind of good at it and people support him. So one of the things that some people seem like they use against that, it's like, well, he's a weak leader, blah, blah, blah. I like the fact that he's not going to be super ambitious. The idea is to do what the Ebonheart Pact is aiming for, which is just unite and, everybody do your own thing. Stop messing with us. Stop messing with each other.
Right.
Like, just unite. We'll have a nice even rule here. We'll get rid of the whole slavery thing. They've got got their little tenets that they're going for. But when the leader of your faction isn't ambitious, that makes me think that you're going to end up having just more of it's the focus of the group that's the direction, rather than how can I get ahead to further my own needs. And I really like that, whereas some people kind of look at that as like, well, he's not necessarily a king or whatever. It's like, no, that's the way to go, because he's not going to be having all these nefarious side effects. If it's like he probably would just give up power once they're done. It's like, oh, okay, the war is over, we're done. Okay, well then I'm out. Like, you do you. Like,
yeah, it's not about his own. Yeah, it's not about his own agenda. Yeah. It's not about his ego. It's not about any of that. It's just, well, I'm here to do my thing, but I want everyone else to do their thing. And when we accomplish it, I'm done. Do you get the sense that he's constantly drunk? Because there's something about his voice actor. He is a Nord. You're right.
I assume he is. I mean,
he is a Nord. I mean,
yeah. I mean, I just assume that's like part of the deal, right? No?
Right. And I can't quite tell if it's the accent, if it's the I am a Nord, blah, la 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 thing going on, or if it's if it's more of a I've been drinking all day. What's going on, everybody? And that just morphed into the most terrible accent. But
actually, I like the voice actor. I forget his name off the top of my head, but I actually really like the voice actor. But the thing is, the way he does the accent, and I think the way you're putting it is he sounds like drunk. It sounds like he's talking with something in his cheeks, like he has like padding, like, oh, I put cotton in. So it's very like cheeky when he talks. Yeah, and it comes across as drunk. I think
it's very unique. It's a very he doesn't sound like the other Nords. He sounds distinct from them, and
he doesn't yell. He's pretty
the weight
quiet.
of the beard.
It's almost like he's just relax. There's almost this relaxation thing going on. Like he's just a little bit more relaxed.
He's pretty zen for being a leader.
Yeah. Yeah, Queen Irene is very serious. We have to do this and we have to do this, yes. Right? And Emmerich is Emmerich is always worried about what's going on, and like there's like this we have to do the thing going, right?
And very condescending.
And very condescending. And Yoren is like, whatever. We're just to go do the thing. And why are you back here talking at me? And it's like, hi, Yoren. What's up, buddy?
As a personal reason, I identify more with Emmerich, just because I feel like that's how I'd sort of lead, is the whole being worried about everything all the time. Because if I was in a position of power, especially like royal power, I'd be like, there's this like, history of rulers behind me and all that. People are going to remember me for the rest of history. So like,
and people are gunning for you because you're on the top of the totem pole. Yeah, like totally.
Yeah, exactly. Like. I wouldn't be like the Scald King and just be all relaxed. I'd be, not paranoid necessarily, but like I'd always be wanting to like, be protective of my legacy, I guess, so to say. I don't know if that's egotistical or not, but,
No, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, it's very serious. You would be very serious, and you would take everything very seriously, and yeah. Whereas Yoren comes across like he's constantly in the middle of a meat hall joking with his buddies when you walk up and talk to him, and he's like, yeah, what's going on? And it's like, dude, sorry to interrupt your dinner with your buddies. It's no problem.
Well, the only it's funny because I did want to double check this, because this is always one of the things that's like I have, and it's super like, okay, this is not in the, well, I mean, it is in the game, but it's not intended to be. Or the previous discussion of other games we played with like Call of Duty and stuff, Yoren the Scald King is the replacer from the Call of Duty ads. And like, I really have a tough time distinguishing that's not just him about to pull out like an MP5 sometimes, like, because that's all I hear is that dude voice acting. And I'm like, oh man, like that is like really hard to like separate myself from, and I just can't do it all the time.
Interesting. Yeah.
So how are we in terms of Markarth? If I talk about Yoren through Markarth and Western Skyrim, is that spoilers? Is that not allowed?
Yeah, we haven't talked through the story stuff for that yet.
Yeah, I guess since it's the most recent one, because I actually know some of what you're talking about as I'm just about to finish the Markarth storyline.
Yeah. So I, aside from that, I have another thought on him then. I can, as like laid back as he may be, I can appreciate kind of how he came into power, because if you know his backstory, right, he has a twin brother who absolutely destroyed the Akaviri. Very, go war, punch everything that moves. And I can appreciate him as maybe not for his leadership skills, but like as his reasons behind getting into a position of power was this is what my people need. Because had his brother taken the throne, right, that would have been I'm based off my speculation, my opinion, it would have been very much more of a Warforged scenario where it's, all right, let's start militarizing. Let's be ready to, in the event that anybody looks at us wrong, we can turn and just gone. Like,
right.
Can we conquer next?
Right. Which
exactly.
We know the Nords can do that. They can flip to that side of
very easily. Like Ysgramor in the 500.
Right.
Yeah.
Like the Nord personality is this balance between like, oh, they looked at us. Yeah, they looked at us wrong. We will cut them down and take their land. Or, let's just drink our meat and get along. Like it's like they kind of wobble between those two extremes, depending on the personalities and of the people in the land. But like it could very well go towards that other nationalistic side of like, you don't mess with us, we'll destroy you. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, one wrong thing can flip that seesaw in the other direction.
Right.
Yeah, with how he kept his brother from pushing the Nords in that direction, I think I can support him more as a leader because of what he wanted to do in terms of the greater good for his people, versus, I don't want to be king, I'll just let my brother do it. It was, if we do this could potentially be awful for us as the Nords of Windhelm. I should probably step in and say something.
So, I think all of that. I can
appreciate that aspect of him.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And side note here, Lotus, I haven't done episodes specifically on the leaders of the different factions and some of the
we should
character episodes. This is something I've done with Fallout are these very character focused episodes, getting like basically putting ourselves in, explaining some of the background. So let me back up a little bit. If you were listening to this episode and you don't know much about Jorn's background and history, we'll get into it in the future. We'll make this one of the things that we tackle beginning this year.
Apparently we should tackle the 3 leaders.
Yeah, let's tackle the 3 leaders. And but let's also get into the perspective of like their perspective on the world, actually being in their shoes, the decisions they've had to make. Because as we know, with any good story, leaders don't have easy decisions. It's always a rock and a hard place. There's always some sort of justification for the terrible things that they have to do, because often they don't have like the other choice is worse, So we'll get into that. We'll investigate this. This is one of the things that I really enjoyed digging into our character. So I'm glad you brought that up, because that really rekindled that idea in my mind of we should really dig into Jorn and the rest of the leaders and some of the other key characters throughout Elder Scrolls Online, because there are some really cool characters to dig into. So thanks for that. Any other thoughts on the Nords kind of being in charge of the Ebonheart Pact and from the perspective of somebody who plays a Dunmer or somebody who plays a Argonian? Does that feel okay, or do you feel like maybe it would be better if somebody on your actual side of the group was more in charge?
I mean, if you don't mind, Vernie, I'm going to take this first. So personally, I actually don't really mind, because in my opinion, just overall, the Nords just embody more like manliness, so to say. Just being more,
aggressive.
Like I don't know how to put it, but like
stand your ground.
Yeah,
confident.
Like, again, the whole like you were saying earlier, of stay off my lawn. But I feel, especially with the Argonians, that as much as I love them, if an Argonian was king, nobody would, probably half the people in the world wouldn't even recognize it. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's
the that I know what you mean, because you've got the whole any of the oppressed races, so to speak, are immediately going to have to deal with that, along with trying to even get people who are on their side to cooperate with them, let alone being known as kind of almost like a leader race and trying to get people to cooperate. That's an extra hurdle that they would need to deal with when you get the whole racism card flying at you as well.
Yeah, a lack of international respect.
Which,
yes.
Right.
Yeah, I'm sure that maybe people wouldn't want to do trade with them or whatnot, just going into the whole logistical part of it.
Yeah. But the Nords are a known entity. The other groups on the continent are going to go, oh yeah, well, okay, the Nords are, we don't want to mess with them. We'll take them seriously. Whereas, Argonians, I also think the Dunmer tend to be more isolationist and secretive. And
they're very concerned about themselves and not much else. Like, they don't seem to want more than Morrowind, and to go where, like, they only go south in order to get, like, slaves. Right. Otherwise, it's just like, everybody leave us.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to think from the Dunmer perspective. In the event that a Dunmer were to lead the Ebonheart Pact, that's going to spark so much more civil tension between the houses, because then going to House Redoran, House Drez, House Hlalu, who's going to do it?
Right.
Who's going to be able to represent all of the houses
themselves too? That's a good point.
Yeah, is it the tribunal? Like, does the tribunal end up in charge of the Ebonheart Pact? How does that even work out?
Yikes! I'm a Dunmer character, but yikes.
Vivek and Sothasil and Amalexia, like, do the three of them have to make decisions about everything the Ebonheart Pact does?
Right.
Following is a public service announcement from the Starter Set Dungeons & Dragons podcast. This is your D&D campaign. This is the Starter Set podcast. You know how, like, poison frogs don't lick each other's backs?
So it's Howl's Moving Castle with a face.
Hey there, I'm Great Mandibles.
Because one of the party speaks Abyssal. You're all going to die.
And then adventure falls into your lap. Plop.
This is your D&D campaign after listening to the Starter Set podcast. So join Sam and Ed every Friday on the Starter Set podcast for prime Dungeons & Dragons content. Any questions?
Yeah, without going super deep, Amalexia is not exactly what I'd call super stable, so...
yeah. And Sothasil would take, like, centuries to make a decision because he would contemplate everything. And Vivek would sit there waxing poetic and then all of a sudden go to war. And you'd be like, what is... What's going on?
I think yell out commands in poetry, no one would understand them and they get overrun.
Right.
To go off of one of the other points that Lincoln had said, where let's say an Argonian were to lead the pact, you have they're going to be lesser known compared to the Nords. I think the religion goes behind a lot of that too. The religion, with the Nords, the 8 divines in the terms of ESO. Right. The 8 divines is a very commonly known practice throughout the entirety of Tamriel, whereas an Argonian is going to be talking about the Hists and they're, it's such a culture shock. And because I mean, even with the Dunmer too, with the tribunal, those
are their living gods,
and and the anticipation.
Right.
Too, the anticipation, the fact that the anticipations are all 3 Daedra, people are going to look at that and be like, no. Yeah.
I could see some major issues with that.
And it works for like the Dominion too, right? With the Khajiit, the main, is the singular head of the Khajiit. So is the main, if the Khajiit were to lead, would the main then also lead the Khajiit and the Dominion, or would it just lead the Khajiit and then pick somebody to lead the Khajiit in the Dominion? It's like the religion is such a weird. I think the religion culture shock would be one of the things that would also heavily separate what race kind of leads their individual faction, I guess. And it makes sense that it's the oppressed, because like the orcs with the Trinimac and Malakath, they can't even agree on who their actual god is. The god of war, the god of revenge, or the Daedra of spite and revenge. It's that tension would
I got pooped
be
out,
too
Daedra.
much, I think.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think you're right. What occurs to me is that these are probably conversations that the design team was having like 9 years ago. That we have just kind of relived a lot of this. Like, well, if this was to be, it has to be this group, and it has to be maybe somebody from here in order for it to make sense. That is it's really cool to dig into this stuff, because it does seem to. it is a tenuous situation for each of these groups, but it does seem to only really work in one way. And this plays on something I find very interesting about writing fiction. And it's something that I enjoy about if you actually read the Song of Ice and Fire books. George R.R. Martin is very, very good at putting you into a situation, a character into a situation, and going into it, you're like, oh my gosh, how are they going to get through this? What's going to happen? And then when you get through the situation, you look back on it and you go, no, that was the only possible way things could have gone, knowing this personality and these events and how all of those things collided. That is the actual thing that would have occurred, because there was, based on these personalities and the way the world is built, there really is only one logical outcome. That was it. Right. It convinces you that it's not like, some sort of, Deus Ex Machina shows up and saves everybody. Like, that never happens. It's always like that character was never going to live through that situation. They had to die. That there was no other way through that. It's not the best example of what I'm trying to say, but for something like this, it does seem to be the case that if you were going to have 3 factions come together and vie for power over Tamriel, and you're going to combine these groups and these groups and these groups, that it really has to be set up in a way where, okay, the Nords would have had to be the leaders, and the High Elves would have had to be the leaders of this group. It just kind of seems to play out that way based on the way the world is. It's very logical.
I think in terms of the 3, I think the only one where kind of I could see the change, the shift, is the Daggerfall Covenant, because this is a war based off of, taking control of Cyrodiil, of the throne. The Bretons are known for trade and commerce. That's their whole shtick. Whereas the Red Guards, they come from Yokuda. They descended from the Yokudans, which were masters of the sword. That's the only one that I feel would viably make sense, is if the Red Guards were to lead the Daggerfall Company. Or Daggerfall Covenant. Daggerfall Covenant.
It would just, in that case, it would be called the Daggerfall Company, because it would all just be warlike.
Exactly, because it's all military.
It's all military. Yeah.
That's the only one that I could see logically make sense to switch the leadership from one race to another.
The 2 potential leadership races type of thing, just already pre-established, so either of them could kind of get away with it. And it's just you've got the Bretons, obviously, with King Emmerich, because the majority of emperors and stuff like that have been run by that very commerce based, because an empire doesn't work if you can't fund it. And since that's their claim to fame, they excel at politics and commerce and stuff, so it's they're almost like natural leaders for that. Whereas it's just almost like the Red Guards are so good they can just kind of deem it force worthy. It's who's going to fight us over it?
Right, you're right. We'll just
it does make sense for the Red Guards to be kind of the foot soldiers.
We'll just sword sing at them.
Oh man, and it is really cool to think through all of this. I have so many different thoughts that my brain just keeps going different places. I wish we had somebody else from another faction to kind of counter argue some of this stuff.
I can't believe that all 4 of us conveniently just all support the Ebonheart. I was like, well, that's correct. But man, that's just,
here's a question for you.
Anybody to argue with?
Here's a question for you, and maybe
with people over it.
Maybe this will set up some debate. If you had to pick a second group to support, if Ebonheart Pact cannot win,
Daggerfall Covenant.
You go Daggerfall?
Daggerfall Covenant.
Because we're all anti-High Elf?
Anti-Dominion.
It's mine is so ingrained in the fourth wall breaking. I know what allowing the Aldmeri Dominion existence will become, it's so like I can't separate that when it's like, well, yes, okay, it's a different dominion of the time, but it's like, yeah, but if these ones didn't exist, we might not end up with this dumpster fire later on in the fourth era. So it's just like, this is just the beginnings of that. And they, again, we had mentioned each of the factions kind of has their pros and their cons to them. The Dominion, it's just like, they are, with rare exceptions like Queen Aren, they are a rough group. Whereas like this is blatantly one race who has basically either tricked or forced two other groups to work with them through one means or another. And it's like, okay, this is very aggressively meant, like they are not considered equals outside of like Queen Aren and some other people. And then you even have, without, I mean, this is back to base game, but it's like the fact that she is understanding has assassins from her own group trying to kill her because she's too understanding,
right?
And is treating the other races like equals. And it's like, well, that's wildly unacceptable. So we need to have the veiled inheritance. It's like, good Lord. It's like, you guys can't even escape that in your own family. Like, woof.
Yeah.
It's the covenant for me, genuinely, because of the high elves. Like I said, I can't do god complexes. So like looking back at like the Altmer's reason for banning Talos from the Nine Divines, right? You're a man. You were created by the Aedra. We descended from them. You were created. You should not be able to go above me and become a divine. That's where I belong, not you. Like I just, there's so much. Like there are some very nice Altmer out there. Don't get me wrong. There are some very nice ones that you come across, but just as a whole, as a race, they are just really obnoxious, and I just can't get over that. I mean, I remember there's a delve in Somerset Isles. There's a delve where you have to help an Altmer man who has chased down his wife-to-be because she ran away from him because she didn't want to marry him. But he talks to you. He is sitting there injured, and you walk up and you're like, hey, can I help you? And he looks up at you and he goes, you're an outsider. And he starts explaining Altmer marriage and goes, but you wouldn't understand it. It's far too sophisticated for you. And I'm like, dude, you are literally, I could look at you and I could slap you upside the face and you would die. And I'm trying to offer myself to help you, and you're just sitting here being condescending to me. Like now I just don't want to help you. You can go run in there with a bunch of werewolves and you can die trying to get your wife. That's fine. I don't care anymore. Like,
right. Yeah, they just can't help it. They just can't help it. I remember when the Somerset expansion came out, and you traveled Somerset for the first time, and you're like, wow, this is beautiful. This place is amazing. And then you walk through the city and you hear just the most despicable conversations about the foreigners and all, like, and you're just like, oh man, this is beautiful, but these people are ugly inside. This is rough. Yeah, it's a rough culture. It is really rough.
It's like going out to the bar and meeting somebody who's like really like physically looks attractive, and you're like, hey, let me buy you a drink, and then they start talking down to you because they make more money than you, and then their personality just goes from a 10 to like a 2, and you're just like, okay, I'm gonna go the other way now.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how good the outside looks, the inside is just terrible. Yeah. I think that's kind of where we all kind of ended up. I would love to hear some people's opinions, if they have counter opinions about any of this stuff. If you guys, have any thoughts on this, send us a tweet, jump on the Discord, send us some notes, yell at us and say, but you didn't think about this thing. And then, point your finger at somebody else. That's fine. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yellow emails.
Yep. Yeah.
I'm sure Bob has some pretty good things to say about DC. So
yeah, well, maybe Bob can.
They're a great silver medal. Okay, that's fine.
you're just poking him with a stick.
Favorite color.
Blue's my favorite color. Clearly,
you're just poking him with a stick. Yeah, they're a good second place, Bob.
If there was an orange faction.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You just got to be what is the Fire Drakes in the Battlegrounds arena? You get to be the orange faction.
There you go.
Which, to anybody who doesn't know or play PvP, one of the this is super inside, well, not baseball, but inside ESO, I guess. The thing that I love about that is no matter which side you fight for, if you do play PvP, and because it's a competitive environment, everybody blames everybody else. Oh, that side's super zergy. Oh, this side does this. It's always, from my perspective, it's always, oh, well, it's Aldmir Dominion and Daggerfall Covenant teaming up, so it's both of them versus us. And of course, they took that keep because they had twice as many people, which is not really the case. But I mean, it definitely does happen plenty, but it happens in all directions type of thing. We'll team up with somebody to like wipe that, and then we'll wipe them, or vice versa. Mm-hmm. But one of the things that I loved was when Battlegrounds was introduced, the color scheme. Teams were like, well, since you guys are all grouping up against each other all the time, here's the team purple, team green, and team orange, because you're always, every side sees it as the other two sides are, oh, it's the green team, oh, it's the purple team, oh, it's the orange team. So they just made those the colors for the actual Battleground arena.
Oh, that's
and I was
funny.
like, that is so clever. Like that is really great, because it just plays on that long-standing thing in PvP that everybody complains about.
That's really funny. I didn't know that, but it makes sense. That's cool. That's cool stuff. Well, I think we're at the end of the show. We've had a very interesting pro Ebonheart Pact discussion. So again, if you have any other thoughts on this, I'd love to hear them. Guys, is there anything you want to talk about or call out or tell people how to reach you before we head out? Why don't we go back to Lincoln first? Lincoln, you got anything else cool going on you want to share? You've been running some guild events lately.
Yeah, I was going to mention that. So yeah, if you play on PCNA every single Tuesday night at roughly 8 or 9 Eastern, we've been changing it up, but it usually starts at 8 Eastern. We've been doing guild events, anything from fishing to doing dungeon runs, anything in between. Me and a couple other regulars have been coming almost every single week. We'd love to have you. Any alliance is welcome. Any race, any level. If you're a level 3, we will take you. So just come and have some fun playing ESO.
Yeah, come join us. You guys have been having a lot of fun. I still haven't been able to make one of those events, but I'm going to do my best to get in there again. I created a new character who I call the Man Baby, who I'm going to put up on screen as we talk, but I have to share this with you because I think he looks ridiculous. And I'm also planning on...
Yeah, I saw it in the Discord.
in the Discord group. I'm also planning on doing some more of the episodes, like the Sir Robots game in between regular episodes soon. So hopefully those will be coming as well. So thank you for reminding me of all that stuff. Renegade, you have anything cool going on? Anything you want to share, or ways people can get a hold of you?
So we had talked before the show, me being involved with esports. I used to be a Twitch streamer, and with 2021, having listened to the crazy busy life that you live while being able to put out these podcasts, I have been inspired to try and make time to try and get back into streaming.
Nice.
I'm a Twitch affiliate, so I was like, I worked hard to get here, and it's kind of just sat and accumulated dust. So with 2021 coming around, I'm going to be trying to get back into streaming. That'll be kind of the biggest thing with 2021 is just trying to make one day a week to be trying to get back out there. One of the first things I'll be streaming is my foray into ESO on PC, because I've been a console player this whole time. So I have the game due to the Christmas sale, so I'll be streaming that, trying to see kind of the differences between PC and console. So that'll be fun. In terms of reaching me, Discord's going to be the easy. We'll see. In terms of reaching me, Discord's definitely the easiest. I've got it on my PC and my phone, so I'm pretty much always available in the Discord for anybody who wants to reach out.
Very cool. Very, very cool. And we can shout out your channel name. What's your channel name on here? On Twitch?
So here, I'll type it into the patron chat real quick.
You can just type it into Twitch chat. You can just put it in there, put a link in there, and go drop him a follow. Go check out ESO. See how PC goes for him. Very cool stuff. Well, good luck with all of that.
So have you played on PC? So have you played on PC yet?
I've made a character, and he has sat and waited for a stream.
So he's super new. It's like
He's so
very
ready.
fresh.
So ready.
Well, that's just the PC. Keep in mind.
Yeah,
I've got a
right.
Speed
Yeah, no,
335. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does
So
he?
you got experience, but yeah, the PC one is super. I mean,
The PC
I'm
is
Try to go when you get a chance.
right.
Does he look anything
in
like
guild, yeah, no,
the
I've
man
got
baby? I'm putting him up on screen right here. This is the man
my
baby.
gosh.
There we go. Oh, that's the wrong.
I think I
Oops.
might have to
I
run
wrote the
around with
wrong
him
name.
at some point.
Well, there's the
You
channel.
should do the polar
Horrifying.
plunge with him. The little event that's going on right now, the
Oh,
polar
yeah.
plunge or whatever.
Yeah.
Polar plunge.
You get that achievement where you take off all your clothes, you can jump into the cold water, you get an achievement for doing that.
Yeah, I made him last night, and then I ran around and chased some of the people who were like spawning in the new area for like the Skyrim new spawn people area, and I was just chasing them around with no clothes on. He has the biggest belly you can create. He has the smallest shoulders. He has the most bulbous head with like big eyes, but he's got this expression, as you can see in the picture, of just like, huh? Like what's going on? He just looks like he's like overwhelmed by the world, and he's as tall as he could possibly be. He's like the biggest baby.
That's hilarious.
Overwhelmed
Overwhelmed by the world. Yep. So yeah, maybe I'll have to stream him at some time. I don't know if I can stream him and do the Adventures of Sir Robots and make that work, because it would be the Adventures of Man Baby, and that would just be weird. I don't know how to do that yet.
Perfect.
But maybe we'll get creative with some streams in the future. Lotus, what do you have going on?
I mean, as always, you can pretty much find me at Lotus Vidum on Twitter or Twitch. I'm on Discord as well. We're on our kind of holiday little hike. 2 weeks we'll be back. This will be the second week with Tales of Tamriel. We'll be back next week to record. So we'll be joining you guys again. We had lots of speculation on the new coming season for Elder Scrolls Online, and tomorrow, so this will only be relevant to anybody who's happened to hang out with us live tonight, but tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern is my final Extra Life incentive that you all helped crush, where when we raised, I don't even remember what goal it was, because everybody helped destroy a lot of our charity goals. But my final goal is tomorrow at 3 p.m. on my Twitch channel. I will be running a 5K while doing Vet Dungeons in ESO.
Oh man.
So I don't know how that's going to go.
Do you have a treadmill set up? Do you have it all?
Oh yeah, no, I got it's good to go. We got a sketchy ass setup going where I've got a table so that I can play with the ability to see from the treadmill, but I don't know. I can do a 5K or whatever, but at the same time I'm trying to do Vet Dungeons and I'm doing it on PC.
How far away is the screen that you're looking at? Is it like a TV in the distance, or is it like
it's like a foot? I've got it basically where like right past in front of me. Okay.
So as somebody who regularly walks on a treadmill while playing games while streaming, which is trying to do three things, it's like juggling, right? Trying to talk to people while playing a game and also not fall off the treadmill. Like it's very hard to do.
Yeah. I got pillows. I can guarantee I'm gonna fall.
I can get up to like
I'll be there for that.
Maybe 2.5 miles per hour. You know, like I can get right up to the point where you really start to almost have to jog. Because there's coordination that's involved, but mostly because your head starts to bob like this, right? And so even with a controller, you can't do it with a mouse because your arm moves too much, but with a controller, you're fine, right? Because you can move your thumbs without moving your arms, right? But once your head starts doing this, everything on the screen just shakes, and it becomes very, very difficult to pay attention to what you're doing. Yeah,
that's just it. Like, so I'm using my PC account, which was another incentive from Extra Life was I said I would make a PC account. So I am CP 163. I literally power leveled so that I could get max level gear and do Vet Dungeons with people and stop playing on PC. So I am not, thousands of hours in like I am on PS4. So my character is not geared. I'm like part geared, and we're just going to do random Vet Dungeons until I finish the 5K, and I'm just going to do it as fast as I can. I don't really have a speed. Other people want to have it if they donate to Extra Life. I have to increase the incline every time, which just sounds brutal. I don't know if I feel like I can. Yeah, I don't know how much I can. So I did do a 5K just to make sure, because I haven't run one this year. Usually I do an actual obstacle course for one. And I did a 5K in exactly 30 minutes. So I'm giving myself an hour and a half to do a stream, because I figure trying to do dungeons and not fall over, and I'm not going to be able to go at the same speed I normally would. That seems like a respectable amount of time, and I'm hoping to maybe get through like 3 dungeons at best. But
good luck, man.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. But whatever, it's for a good cause.
What time is this? When are you streaming it?
3 p.m. tomorrow.
3 p.m. tomorrow.
And 3 p.m. Eastern?
3 p.m. Eastern on, twitch.tv, Lotus of Doom.
Right. So yeah,
we'll see how that goes. I'll be doing my best. Whatever. Nobody donated to the charity drive to watch us succeed. All of our incentives were to make us fail at things or do things we don't like.
Of course.
Whatever. It's for the kids.
It's for the kids. Failure for the kids.
So
awesome stuff. Yeah. Okay. That sounds amazing. Go watch that, because that's awesome. You're still gonna be able to contribute, right? Like, you can still contribute more. So like,
oh yeah, it's still the charity fundraiser is still open. So like, it all goes to a great cause. I mean,
yeah, as a viewer, you could say like, every time you fall down, I'll contribute another $10. You know, and just kind of create.
I think I just heard. I think I just heard. A certain amount of donations tomorrow means a second stream where he gets 300 and does vet DLC dungeons too. That's what I heard.
That's what I'm waiting to pull. Like, oh, cool. So here's Stone Garden. It's like, great. That's what I want to do with my cool. Did I say 3 dungeons? I meant I'll get to the third boss.
Okay, the third boss. Oh man.
Oh, well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm going to have to pop in. I'm sure you'll have a lot of people watching. Well, do I have anything else going on? I don't think I have any. We've got new stuff for the new year. I guess the thing that's really going on right now is thank you so much for everybody who watches and listens, and all of the patrons, everybody who supports the show, and even people who just listen to it regularly. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do this every week. And this show started, technically it started in February, almost 2 years ago. And we're going into a new year. This will be, I'm just calling it year 3, starting, this week, I guess. And thanks for being here, because this is awesome. This community is awesome. It's been so wonderful having people to talk about awesome things that I love with. And if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be able to do it. So thank you everybody for being here. This coming year, we'll start talking about some of the new characters. If there are other topics that we haven't covered yet that you would be interested in us covering, please let us know. We love to get feedback from people. Do realize if it's super, super niche, like, hey, I noticed that there was this one little thing that plays into this weird little quest line with this one person in this weird corner of the world in Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, like some of the requests are like, dude, the reason why you can't find information on that is because there's no information on that. But yeah, more
that does happen more than you'd think, actually. Because people have wanted me to do a couple things from playing through Arena where they're like, oh my god, what's this Brotherhood or whatever? I was like, there are 7 lines of dialogues and you just read all of them. That guy's description, that was all there is in the series. You never hear from this again.
Right. Yeah. Sometimes I'll get letters that say things like, hey, I've looked into this, but I can't find any more information about this. Can you do an episode about it? And it's like, well, that's because that's all the information there is.
Yep. Hasn't been fleshed out yet.
Right. So that would be a 5-minute episode, but maybe it'll play into a bigger discussion about something else later, but yeah, it's not like there's a wealth of information that I have that somehow you don't. Like, we're all looking at the same sources. So, but we would love to discuss interesting topics if you have any thoughts on that kind of thing. But thank you for being here, everybody. As always, you can check out all the rest of the shows at robotsradio.net and come join us for some future live streams. We will be back to our regular time next week, Thursday at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/robotsradio. So come join us for that. And a very, very, very special thank you to Noodle Al Dente.
I just realized, though.
Oh, yeah?
Hold on. That's New Year's Eve.
Is that New Year's Eve? Crap! That's New Year's Eve. The show is cursed. You're right.
Yeah.
That is New Year's Eve. So we might have to do an alternate time next week as well.
We'll have to mulligan that one too.
or maybe Lotus, if you have the day off, maybe we could even do it during the day. I mean, it's just you and me.
Actually, that actually could work. I'm not working that day as a refreshing change of pace during the holidays. So actually, that might work.
All right. So stay tuned to the Discord and to Twitter. We'll put it out there. We might just do an earlier stream during the day before everyone's busy with the festivities. Maybe something in the middle of the day or so.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, come back for that. And very, very special thank you to Noodle Al Dente. You've probably heard Noodle's name at the end of the episodes because every week Noodle has been a tier 5 subscriber. Noodle upgraded this month to the Akatosh and Lorcan level of Patreon with a $250 patron subscription, which is just phenomenal. Noodle, thank you so much for supporting the show. This was kind of a Christmas present, I think. But thank you for being a regular supporter of the show at such a high level and also now upgrading. I'm not sure if you're Lorcan or Akatosh. Lorcash, it's like a combination of the two. That has lore implications for it. Yeah. Akaton.
I feel like should be the Lore Seeker's Cash's name on Twitter.
Lorcash. Perfect. Yeah, there you go. Akatosh or Lorcan. I'm not sure which one you are. I guess it's a mystery still. But thank you so much for your support, and especially everybody else who's a patron. Even people who've been subscribing at the $1 level. You guys are amazing.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That's it for this show. We'll see you next week, sometime during the day on Thursday.
It'll be a surprise.
And of course,
listening to the Elder Scrolls Lorecast.
The sound effects, whatever.
Something you'd like to contribute to the show, please reach out to us at elderscrollslorecast@gmail.com or on Twitter at ESO Lorecast. I really appreciate you listening, and I'd love to hear from you soon.
You've been listening to a Robots Radio podcast. Smart shows for interesting people. Check out all the shows at robotsradio.net.
Hey Guardians, we are the Destiny Show Podcast, a weekly podcast about all things Destiny 2. We invite amazing guests from the Destiny community to share their stories and discuss the latest topics from the world of Destiny. Check us out on Apple, Google, Spotify, Stitcher, or live on Twitch every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We will see you Starside.
Are you an avid player of the Elder Scrolls Online and looking to take your game to that next level? Well, the Red Diamond Courier podcast is here to help. I'm Bob Chichinski.
And I'm Dogbark24.
We are two experienced players aiming to help others learn and improve through in-game knowledge and references.
From PvE
to PvP
and everything in between.
There's sure to be something for you in the Red Diamond Courier.
We hope you check us out. Thanks.
Once upon a time, 27 years after the bombs fell, there were two people, a vault dweller and a California girl. They met and sparks flew. That's when things got interesting. Once Upon a Wasteland is their story. Follow Elizabeth Kirby and Odessa Valdez as they pursue their happily ever after in the post-apocalyptic Appalachian wasteland of Fallout 76. Available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and many other podcasting platforms. Once Upon a Wasteland, a Fallout 76 love story. Available now.